Hi! So I just thought I would do a quick video. I'm actually about to leave for school. Super excited about that. But I just made a blog post about John Green and the book Looking for Alaska, and I mentioned that I had a huge intellectual crush on him. I just want to explain that. Okay, so you know what a crush is, obviously. But an intellectual crush is just, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Just like, I just think he's an amazing author, and I love all his books. That's a lie. I've read all his books. I own this one, Let It Snow, which I love because I'm a huge Maureen Johnson fan. And then, where'd it go? Looking for Alaska, which was his first, and I read it shortly after it was published. I found it in my school library, which kind of wonder why I was in a middle school library, but it's so good. But it's not my favorite. My favorite is Paper Towns, which I sadly don't own. I used to own Will Grayson, but I recently just sold it because I hate that book. I was really excited about it because those are two of my favorite authors, and then I found out it takes place in like Chicago in the suburbs, and like, oh, that's where I live. And then I pre-ordered it on Amazon. It's like so discount, and then the book came and I read it, and I was like, I just wasn't a fan. But yeah, I tried to like the book. I just couldn't. But back to my intellectual crush. So it's weird because I always think of John Green as being like a female writer, but I get this kind of sexist just because I'm reading the books. I think that way. He's not like all his main protagonists. I'm having a brain fart, which is sad because I'm going back to college. I need that in my brain. But his main characters are always guys, and they're always nerdy. They're basically what I would like my perfect guy. And they're just like these amazing stories, and I feel like just like anybody can read his books. I think I'm gonna try to start getting my little sister to read them. She's gonna be a sophomore in high school. But his books are just so good, and I'm always like when I read his books, like I'm always just like, and they just what I love about them the most is that they make you think. Like I read a lot. Like I don't think people realize it, but I read so much. I was the kid that was always told the teacher would have to tell put away their book, and they're always like, I thought I'd have to tell a student to stop reading, but I read a ton. But I just his books like they're just amazing. If you've never had a John Green book, you have to read one. I would read Paper Towns because that's my favorite. But Looking for Alaska is good. But in my post, I was talking about how I recently just reread Looking for Alaska, and it's the first time I read it. It's actually only the second time I've read the books. It's the first time since 8th grade. And like, I think I appreciate the book so much more than when I was younger. Like, I like have at the time I read it, I had like knew nothing about like what they were experiencing. Only thing I could relate to was Alaska losing a parent because I lost my dad when I was 10. Then like the living away from, because it's a boarding school, like the living away from parents. I'm in college, so I'm getting that now. Underage drinking. I'm in college. And then like the suicide of a classmate. Actually, last year during finals, at the end of the school year, we had at the beginning of finals, a student killed himself. Somebody from my class. And like there were warning signs, and looking for that, like they realized later in retrospect there were warning signs about that happening, and it's like that was the same thing that happened at my school. So I can relate to the whole losing a classmate thing. Though I wasn't as close to him to the student who committed suicide as Pudge was to Alaska. He was secretly in love. But I just love this book, and like the characters like obsessed with famous last words. And like in An Abundance of Catherine, he just knows all these facts. Like, oh, I wish I could remember the word, but it's something with an S. But it means like guy who sits when he pees, and it's German. And it's like such a random fact. But it's just such a good book. But Paper Towns, that's my favorite. I like had a short obsession with Paper Towns afterwards. But yeah, basically my point is John Green books are amazing, and like the fact that they make you think is like what I really love about the books. Like it's one, like I read really fast. I can read a book. Like this would only take me a couple of hours to read, but like when I'm reading a John Green book of like the same size, like actually, well, that's partly him, but I have to like sit and think about what I'm reading, and like I sometimes go back to make sure I didn't miss something. And yeah, so I know he has these things of nerd fighters. I'm not a nerd fighter. I honestly don't even really get what a nerd fighter is. No, you're not. You don't forget to be awesome. That's pretty much the only thing I know about nerd fighters, and that like the whole Vlogbrothers. But I've only watched a couple of their videos. I'm, I, I don't know. I've just never really sat down and watched them for some reason. I do watch Truth. I do Truth or Fail on YouTube. Those are so much fun if you've never played. I normally fail, but they're fun to try. But yeah, I'm not a nerd fighter. I feel like I could be if I actually like looked into it. But anyway, that was it for now. See you soon. Next time you see me, you'll be seeing me from my dorm room. I don't know if you still call it a dorm room if it's a sorority house, but you'll be seeing me from then, so that should be exciting. I can't wait to decorate it. Bye.